Okay, let's dive in. We're looking at a really foundational piece of West Coast hip-hop today.
Absolutely. A blueprint, you could say.
Yeah, exactly. We are celebrating, believe it or not, the 32nd anniversary of E-40's classic second EP, The Mailman.
Mm-hmm. September 28th, 1993. That date is pretty significant.
It really is. And this wasn't just another record, right? This feels like the document of that early, raw Bay Area sound.
It's perfect for a deep dive like this because, well, it kind of forces you to look beyond the usual major label story.
How so?
Well, when you track E-40's career, this EP extended play, shorter than an album, this is where he really proved his whole independent model could work. Big time.
Right. So our mission today is basically to chart that indie success, dig into the features, the sound, and figure out how its legacy is still, echoing in Bay Area hip-hop.
And the fact it came out on his own label, Sick Wid It Records,
That's the kicker.
that makes the numbers, the achievements, frankly, kind of staggering for 93.
Totally staggering. No major machine behind it, pushing it.
Nope. And yet, it still landed nationally. E-40 was basically showing everyone how regional rap could self-distribute and actually compete.
Okay, let's talk numbers then, because they really do redefine indie success for that era.
Yeah, despite being independent, The Mailman found a huge audience, like right away.
The source material shows it hit number 13 on the Billboard Top R&B hip-hop albums chart.
Number 13, which is huge for an indie EP.
And not just the R&B hip-hop chart. It actually crossed over somewhat. It peaked at 131 on the main Billboard 200 chart.
Right, and what's fascinating there is how that placement just validated the whole Sick Wid It Records operation.
Yeah.
Hitting the Billboard 200. That was a massive signal to the industry. It said, look, E-40's grassroots thing, it's translating into real national sales.
And he proved the audience was there.
And that they'd go find the music, even if it wasn't through the usual channels.
So, okay, let's talk about the sound itself.
Yeah.
Because E-40's style, the slang, that was unique. But the music, that really set the Bay apart from, say, LA's G-Funk sound, right?
Oh, definitely. It's a very specific sound, and the credit really goes to the production crew.
Who was behind the boards on this one?
Well, E-40 himself got some production credits, but the key architects were Mike Mosley, Sam Bostic, and Studio Ton.
Mosley, right. He's often singled out for that classic sound.
Yeah, definitely.
Wait, let's clarify that for a sec. If someone listening mainly knows, like, Dr. Dre's sound from 93, how would you describe this Mailman sound? What makes it distinctively Bay Area?
Okay, good question. So G-Funk generally was smoother, more laid back, lots of samples, sometimes live instruments, right?
Mm-hmm.
The bass sound on the Mailman, often way more frantic, more synthesized, kind of abrasive sometimes.
Okay.
You get those really heavy, sometimes zany synth leads, sharp, high-energy melodies, and they're layered over these deep, booming, Roland 808 bass lines.
I like that heavy bass.
And the drum programming was different, too, often more syncopated, faster tempos than the lowrider stuff from down south. Just felt raw, energetic, matched E-40's delivery perfectly.
So it was definitely a conscious choice, like carving out their own lane sonically.
Absolutely. And you hear that unique energy across the whole EP.
Which kind of leads us naturally into the collaborations, the features, and the actual tracks that blew this thing up.
Yeah, this EP wasn't just about E-40. It was like a showcase for his whole circle.
Right.
He brought in his family, his main collaborators. You got features from The Click, that's his brother Be Legit, his cousin D-Shot. And you also hear Levitti and the Mossel on there, too.
Okay, now here's where it gets really interesting for me. The track, everyone remembers, the main single.
Captain Save-A-Ho.
Captain Save-A-Ho, featuring The Click.
Yeah.
That song was everywhere. And crucially, they had a proper music video for it.
That was the hook. That single grabbed national attention, the catchphrase, the slang. It was undeniable.
But you're saying there's more to the strategy than just the hit single.
Oh, yeah. If you really want to see E-40's genius back then, you gotta look at the B-side.
You mean practice looking hard?
Exactly. Think about it. It's 1993. How many independent artists are dropping money on 2 music videos for an EP?
Very few, I'd imagine.
Almost none. The fact they made a video for the B-side for Practice Looking Hard, that shows this, incredible commitment to visual promotion, treating the whole project like a multimedia package.
And the video itself. The people who show up in that video. It's like a who's who of the West Coast scene right before it exploded.
The network E-40 had, even back then. It's visible right there in the cameos.
Let's list them off. Who are we talking about?
Oh, okay, get ready. It's staggering. You've got Boots Riley. Right. Activist, rapper from the coup.
Legend.
You've got the one and only Tupac.
Wait, Tupac. in a B-side video
Yeah.
for an indie EP in 93.
Yep, Tupac. Plus, Sully Full and Spice One were in it too.
That's more than just a cameo from Pac. That's a massive cosign.
It really is.
It just shows the level of respect E-40 already commanded, like within the West Coast hierarchy right then. It's kind of the piece of history, that video.
It absolutely is. That video is like a time capsule. It proves E-40 got the power of visuals and networking way before it was standard practice, you know?
Right.
And all that power built independently, marketed brilliantly, that's what eventually got the major labels knocking.
Which brings us nicely to the EP's afterlife. Because the buzz was just too big to ignore, right? Jive Records eventually stepped in.
They did. They acquired the rights and reissued The Mailman just a year later in 1994.
So, connecting this to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
that Jive reissue, that was basically the industry saying, okay, you proved it, this thing works.
Exactly. It was the validation he'd earned with the Sick Wid It hustle. Jive basically used that regional success as like a proven test market before taking it fully national.
Now, the source material notes something interesting.
Yeah.
The Jive reissue had an alternate track listing.
Ah, yeah. That happens a lot.
Why? Why would they tweak something that was already working?
Well, often when a major label picks up a regional hit, they try to optimize it for a broader audience, meaning the original track list might have had songs that were maybe super explicit or really niche, like focused purely on Bay Area stuff. The alternate listing probably meant they were maybe cleaning up a few tracks, resequencing for radio flow, possibly cutting stuff they thought wouldn't play nationally.
Standard move to maximize commercial appeal, basically.
Pretty much. Smoothing out the raw edges for a wider market.
But the core material, the quality, that was undeniable, regardless of the track order.
No question. And you can see how relevant those tracks remained because they kept popping up years later in E-40's major label work.
That's the ultimate proof of quality, isn't it?
How so? Does that happen often? A label pulling an EP track from 93 and using it prominently 5 years later.
It's not super common, no, but it definitely validates the original EP. We see it specifically with the track Ballin' Outta Control.
Right. That started right here on The Mailman.
And it was strong enough that they re-released it as a key track on E-40's big 1998 double album, The Element of Surprise.
Wow. So 5 years later, those 1993 tracks were still seen as essential, commercially strong enough to be on a multi-platinum release.
That's what you call standing the test of time.
Yeah, it tells you E-40 and his producers like Mosley, they were crafting stuff that was timeless, culturally potent, right from the jump.
And he was smart enough to bring that material forward when he got that bigger platform. Didn't leave the classics behind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He made sure those foundational tracks reached the wider audience, too.
What an incredible story. A
That's
true Bay Area classic. So let's just quickly summarize the key takeaways here.
Okay.
E-40's The Mailman, an absolute powerhouse. Huge indie success through Sick Wid It Records. Charted impressively on Billboard R&B Hip Hop and the main Billboard 200.
Right. And it defined that high-energy, synth-heavy Bay Area sound thanks to killer production from Mike Mosley, Sam Bostic, Studio Ton, and 40 himself.
And maybe the biggest takeaway, the networking. Iconic features with the click and those unforgettable video cameos.
Boots Riley, Selly Cell, Spice One, and yeah, the mind-blowing Tupac appearance in the B-side video for Practice Looking Hard. Still amazing.
So what does this all mean for you listening? It means 32 years back, E-40 didn't just drop an EP. He dropped a blueprint, a strategy. He proved independent regional artists could force the majors to pay attention. Not just pay attention, but actually adopt and repackage his work years down the line.
And here's maybe a final thought, something provocative for you to chew on. Think about how forward-thinking that strategy really was.
Okay.
We talked about investing in 2 music videos back in 93. That early focus on visuals plus the networking getting huge stars like Tupac and Boots Riley for a B-side video.
Yeah.
That signals this like deep understanding of multimedia marketing and collaboration that was way ahead of its time. How much of E-40's incredible longevity, do you think, comes from nailing that visual narrative so early and so audaciously?
That's a great question, something to definitely mull over.